I think what's interesting is global markets are, from a technical perspective, pointing to a potential inflection point, and they're diverging from the macro picture. So you've seen some strong gains of late, pushing really through a major level of resistance. So trendline resistance at about 4,000 with the S&P 500, which also coincided with that 200-day moving average, which it failed to breach. Now, part of that could be some short selling, but I think as we go into a busy week for earnings, for monetary policy decisions, and after lots of gains, we could see some profit taking over the short term. Now, while equities have rallied significantly, there's some pretty big hurdles that they have to still overcome. So first is earnings, which are probably going to be weighed down as margins come under pressure. Second of all, you have tough competition from elevated bond yields. And of course, there's always the risk that the Fed comes out a little bit more hawkish than the market's expecting.
Absolutely. And what about the China reopening story in terms of that growth forecast?
Yeah, so we forecast a 5% growth rebound this year, but we're seeing upside risk to that, of course. Now, the start's going to be bumpy, just as we saw with the reopenings of almost every other economy, but the consumer story could rebound more aggressively than we expected, given it's almost 2 years of lockdown. So if you think about it, household deposits are about 25% above where they would have been under pre-pandemic trends. And we saw many Asian economies, as they reopened, actually surprised to the upside. You also have a lot of government stimulus, which is carrying through over to this year. And the PBOC, of course, remains dovish, given that inflation's low. And some of the sectors that were quite acting as a drag last year, such as real estate, probably going to bottom out this year at some point. And the government's also taking slightly lighter touch in terms of regulating key sectors, which was quite negative for markets and for the macro, such as real estate and technology. And that all points to quite positive signs for the Chinese economy.